What would your kind of observation be on AI and the impact on labor markets and people's jobs and how they should feel about that as they think about this?
Well, I think we are seeing the most disruptive force in history here. There will come a point where no job is needed.
There's a new hire sitting at the desk across from you. They don't need caffeine, they don't make small talk, and most importantly, they don't have a body. Meet virtual employees. They are designed to work alongside humans or potentially instead of them. So should this prospect bother you? We believe that in 2025, we may see the first AI agents join the workforce and materially change the output of companies.
Now, tech giant Meta, along with other major corporations, are making headlines once again with plans for significant layoffs. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, is planning to let go of approximately 3,600 employees, around 5% of its total workforce.
Everyone has actually feared of AI takeover in this generation, right? What if I tell you the same situation, the same takeover story was also happened in 1981. Similar to today, in 1980, there is a severe economy downturn, simply a big recession as like 2020.
This was the year the recession was supposed to end. But as the year ends, the long-awaited economic recovery is still a tiny speck. The nation is in its worst economic crisis in 50 years, and no one knows when it will end.
It lasted for a couple of years, from 1980 to 1982. After a rapid growth from 1971 to 1978, the economy goes down crazy in 1980. If you look at the GDP growth here, from 1978 to 1980, it came down from 4% to minus 8%, which actually created the recession. In the same way, till 2019, our economy is doing well. Okay, it was going on a smoother road, but suddenly in 2020, we got COVID-19, right? We know that. And the situation, if you see in the situation here, it is quite similar to the same graph which we have looked at in 1980. Right? Is this a coincidence or is this a repeat of 1980 again? Tell me your thoughts in comment section as well. To make this point even more stronger, there is one more job takeover happened in 1981 as well. Similar to AI takeover the jobs today, in the same way in 1981, there is a fear in everyone that computers are going to take over the jobs of everyone.
There's another question arises from this, which is the computers are taking over all our thinking. They outstrip man. They're going to, or already have done. They think much faster. They can learn and unlearn, which means they are being programmed by experts, and the machines, these computers, can learn not only from the professors, from the programmers, but from themselves. Probably you know about, some of you know about it, read about. And within 10 years, they say they are outstripped completely man. Will think faster, learn faster, correct themselves, perhaps invent something new, new theories which man has not thought of. So there is this question. This is a very important problem for man. So there is this machine, which is ultra-intellectual machine, it's called. They are inventing this. It's so rapid. So what becomes of man? You understand? Look at the problem, please. Face the problems. What happens to us who have lived by exercising our brain, and that little part is being taken over by a machine which is Superman? Then what happens to each one of us? What happens to our brain, which is no longer being employed as a thinking machine? They are very concerned. Some of us who have gone into this little bit are very concerned what is going to be the future of man when the machine can take over all the activities of the brain. Then what happens to the brain?
The speaker you watched before, he is Krishnamurthy sir. In 1981, he shared his thoughts, like how people were sharing their thoughts on artificial intelligence today. He shared his thoughts on computer take over the jobs, or computer taking over the human nature. And if you see that point, to prove that point, if you go and see the stats, the employment rate, that was proving us, yes, of course, the unemployment rate was grown in between 1980 and 1983. The employment rate is shrinking, came down from 59% to all the way 56%. That means 3% of down, right? But in that time, a completely labor period, so 3% of down is huge number, because there is no white collar jobs at that time. That means there is no huge white collar jobs. Everyone goes as a blue collar jobs, like they go and work as a labor, right? Every day they need money and every day they need to work, and then they'll get money. So 3% of unemployment is huge at that time. If you see the graphs, the men employment rate was down from 75% to 70%. That means 5% down in the employment rate growth. The even more scariest thing, the youngsters employment rate down by 8%, from 48% to almost 40%. You know who supported this employment rate to just consider for 3%? That is women employment rate. At that period, the women employment rate was actually growing. Okay, it was growing in that phase, which actually helped our employment growth rate to stay at 3%. If you want to compare the same stats, today's stats with that year's stats, you can check out this video here. In this period from 1980 to 1990, there is one more incident that was happened. In 1987, which we compare here, we are almost close, right? Which might be 2025 might be. Okay, so one more incident was happened in economy, that is the Black Monday.
October 19th, 1987, a day that would come to be known as Black Monday. The Dow plunged 22.6%. It had never happened before. It's still the biggest one-day percentage loss of all time. That means bigger than the 1929 stock market crash.
Good evening. The stock market today crashed. The Dow Jones Industrials, every other major index, breaking records in its plummet downward.
There are plenty other things which was affected this incident, but when I was comparing the both instances, when I was looking the patterns closely, it was quite similar. Okay, so whatever that happened in 1980 to 1990, which was not exactly, but it kind of a similar pattern was repeating from 2020 to 2030, but till now it was repeating. After all this fear of computer takeover and all the nightmares that computer take over the jobs and all, that generation was actually faced little obsession about this fear of computer taking over the jobs. But we are actually living in that generation, right? So currently we are living in computer takeover jobs generation. That means that was not bad. In fact, the employment rate was actually increased in this period, 1996 to 2016. The employment rate was actually good. In fact, even in between we have one more recession in 2008, which is not even that impact of stopping this employment rate. Even 2008 is actually bad for employment rate, but from 2009 itself, the employment growth was actually increased very high, like it was increased rapidly. In the same way, we are actually fearing and we are obsessed with this AI take over the job. That might not be that bad what we are thinking, maybe, right? I in my opinion, that might not happen, because when a new technology was coming into our lives, that will give us the more opportunities than taking over. Of course, it will take the previous opportunities, but it will give the new opportunities. So how we are riding bullock carts from 1970, today we are riding motorcycles or cars, we are traveling through buses in 2025. It changed a lot, right? It changed so much of things. In the same way, if new technology was coming into the market, it will change something. Okay, it will give new opportunities to the people. I am not telling this. This was also mentioned by Kritivasan, who is the CEO of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, and also CHRO, मिलन।
कृति, मेरा सबसे पहले आपसे क्वेश्चन होगा, हमने आज ही एक न्यूज़ पढ़ी कि वॉल स्ट्रीट जो है 2 लाख जॉब्स जो शेड हो रही है, उनमें से एआई एक मेजर रीज़न है। हम एआई के बारे में यहाँ बहुत बात कर रहे हैं, तो आपको लग रहा है कि कुछ ऐसा इम्पैक्ट इस साल, क्योंकि एआई दिन ब दिन बढ़ता जा रहा है, हम इंडिया में भी देख सकते हैं?
जॉब लॉस?
या
As I said, I was telling Varun, like our going in position is AI will create lot more new jobs, but they may not see there could be some jobs there will be a change in profile or the role of jobs. The same jobs may not take if AI can do a better summarization of a document. Some back office person summarizing may not be required. But it can also create new kind of opportunities, new kind of jobs. So net it is going to be positive. There will be job shifts, right? Like testing could get automated, but you will have less of testers. But you may have more people that have to train the machines that are to be the validation of these AI algorithms, or somebody who can create the model for our customers. So there would be our view is at a gross level it will be positive. There will be changes and shifts in the individual jobs that people do.
Hi, Milind, I would like to know if there has been any impact, positive or negative, on the way you're looking at hiring in the context of the Gen AI deals.
I think I said earlier, the answer is no. I think we would continue to hire, and as Kriti said, we expect only positive swing because of the fact that the nature of jobs will change and not the number of jobs. We don't expect the number of jobs to reduce. So we basically expect the same number of people to come or more, and train them accordingly so that they can fit into the newer kind of jobs.
So does your training then sort of
Absolutely.
see a change?
We have been doing it already. We've been doing it already. We've been telling you also that we've been basically organization-wide training on AI, Gen AI, not just at a lowest level, but building a pyramid now to basically create a AI-first organization.
So you saw, right? So TCS also mentioned, like 2025, they are not going to hire anyone from this generative AI. That means they're not hiring, in the sense they were not looking to open some of the positions for generative AI, but they were hiring in the same way how they are hiring in the previous time, right? So like there is nothing much changed till date, but it might change in future. Okay, might be end of our 2025 or in mid of 2025 it might change, but current situation was good actually. So whatever happens guys, whether that was good or bad, we can't imagine the results, correct? So what we need to do, we need to update ourselves to the latest technology, and we need to adopt ourselves to the latest technology, right? So I always remember one story that my mom used to tell me, that when she was pursuing her degree in 1991, so there is a computer guidance people, they came into their college and they mentioned that computers are going to take over in next decade. So we are the people who train how this computer works and things, and these people were actually ignored that, and today some of them were actually not even working. Even my mom thought to work, but she unable to work because of she doesn't even know how to turn on a computer, or she doesn't even know how this entire technology works. In fact, she scored 95% in her degree, which 99% of people were thinking grade is everything. If I get 95%, I'll get a job. No, you won't get that way. Okay, if you have that skills, then you get the job. It goes in this way. Let's we ignore the technology today and regret tomorrow, or learn the technology and fly tomorrow. So that is in your hands anyway. Upskill yourself daily and improve yourself on the same technology, update yourself. Okay, so in that way, and I was thinking good revolution is going to come. Anyway, I analyzed the same thing and I released one more video about the same thing. So for that, you need to subscribe to the channel. Please like and subscribe, and I'm Rutvik signing off. Thank you for watching.